Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a lap guide for round 1 of the 2024 Manufacturers Cup exhibition season. I'm in the Lexus RCF Group 3 since I'm in the GT1 League, and we're on the racing hard tires. So let's go ahead and get this started. I have the brake balance all the way to the back of the car because this car is a bit of a handful when it comes to the racing hard tires. And without the slipstream, I'm just going to stay on 5th gear and bring yourself towards the left if you haven't done so yet, because your first braking point is the 300 feet board. Brake as much as you can, turning in just as you pass the 100 feet board. For this car, you can go down to 1st gear for more rotation, but you want to exit on 2nd gear, and you want to be really careful getting back on the throttle as this car likes to step out a lot. It reminds me of the M6 where just a little bit too much throttle and the car is going to be all over the place. Now you can use this bridge as your turning point, so right as you go under it, that's where you turn in, doing a little lifting off our throttle. Some cars can take these S's flat out, but for the RCF, I'm just going to do a little lifting off our throttle, bring yourself towards the left and brake just as you're about to pass the 400 feet board. Full braking power, going to make your way down to 1st gear. And just as you pass the 100 feet board, start to ease off the brakes and turn in. So doing a bit of trail braking, exit on 2nd gear, and be especially careful getting back on the throttle as this car loves to step out over here. Bring yourself towards the right, turning in just as you pass the 100 feet board. And as soon as you're about to hit the apex of this left turn coming up, that's where you start to ease on the brake. So using around 50% braking power, because you want to set yourself up for this apex right here, which will set you up for the right turn coming up right now. So doing a little bit of throttle control, then brake before you reach this sign that is on the left, and you're turning in just as you start to apply the brakes, because you're setting up for the hairpin that's coming up very shortly. Then brake just as you go under the Grand Valley Highway 1 sign, going down in 1st gear. Exit on 2nd gear, just being really careful with your throttle input, as this is another spot where the RCF likes to get really lively. And then brake and turn in just as you're about to reach the 100 feet board. You can go down to 1st gear for a bit more rotation, just make sure you exit on 2nd gear, and still you want to be really careful with your throttle input as the car will step out over here. Kind of does so right here. Yeah, there you go. Car's getting a bit lively now. Then shift up to 3rd gear as you exit this right turn, being careful on the throttle. Do not hit the walls as the wall collision detection is really strict here. Then brake just as you're about to pass the 100 feet board, going all the way down to 1st gear for more rotation, but exit on 2nd gear, and just be really careful with your throttle control as you want to make sure that the car doesn't step out. Just as you exit the tunnel, that's where you use a little bit of your braking and turn in, just making sure you have at least 2 wheels within the track limits. Do not cross the white lines as you will get penalized. And you can just be really careful with your throttle input as the exit of the chicane is a really dangerous spot, really easy to step out and end up hitting the walls and then rack up about 7 seconds worth of penalties. And this final turn, as you just saw, really easy flat out. But in a moment we'll go through all this, but this time I will not stop the video. Alright, there we go, getting ready to start the lap. Again, brake balance all the way to the back of the car for the Group 3 Lexus RCF. Braking at the 300 feet board, turning in at the 100 feet board, going all the way down to 1st gear for more rotation, but exit on 2nd gear, being really careful with the throttle input as this car likes to step out a lot, and I think that's a bit of a problem with the FR cars for this race, where they just like to step out a lot. Being really careful through the S's, doing a bit of throttle control, braking at the 400 feet board for this hairpin, going up to 2nd gear, really careful getting back on the throttle, otherwise this car will start to step out. And doing quite a bit of trail braking, leaning up for these 2 turns right here, and then a bit early on the brakes, braking under the Grand Valley Highway 1 sign, back up to 2nd gear, really careful on the throttle, and actually sector 2, so the sector that we're on right now, this is where the MR cars are really going to shine. And you're just being really careful with your throttle input. Car stepping out a bit right there. Got to be really careful. I cannot emphasize this enough. Back up, or going up to third gear. Going into the bridge. Do not hit the walls. Otherwise, you're going to get smacked around with a bunch of penalties. Brake just as you reach the 100 feet board. Staying towards the right, because when the tunnel ends, you're going to go ahead and start to turn in. Use a little bit of braking and throttle control. Again, just being really careful through here, as this spot is another really dangerous area. You get on the throttle a little too aggressively and the car is going to end up going all over the place. This final turn, really easy flat out. And yeah, it's a really tricky combination, even more so with how this car behaves. So we're going to get a 148.4. So there we go. So that's a bit of a lap guide. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. So this is Mr. MCA. Good luck with your race, and I'll see you in the next video.